April brings many more choices for a national park visit as spring arrives in most of America. Theodore Roosevelt, Carlsbad Caverns, and Grand Canyon are three great national parks to visit in April. The daytime high at Theodore Roosevelt National Park in April is 57 degrees. A bit cool, but if you are not camping, it's actually great weather for scenic drives and hiking. The diversity at this park is amazing. There are the Badlands formations, strange rock formations, canyons, meadows, grasslands, wildflowers, historic sites, bison, bighorn sheep, deer, horse, and the cute prairie dogs. The Painted Canyon Visitor Center is right off of Interstate 94 with a great view of the Painted Canyon. Near the South Unit Visitor Center is a bit of history with the Maltese Cross Cabin, where Roosevelt stayed during his trips to North Dakota. The cabin was relocated to its current place. The South Unit Scenic Loop, a 36-mile drive that winds across rolling, jumbled badlands. Numerous short trails that are less than a mile are on this road. Wind Canyon Trail gives you a great view of the Little Missouri River. Observe the cute prairie dogs at the prairie dog towns along the way. Someone did a great PR job by naming them prairie dogs instead of prairie rats, which is what they really are. Buck Hill Trail gets you to the highest place in the park with a grand view. Coal Vein Nature Trail exposes the different layers of the geology. The North Unit is an hour's drive from the South Unit, but well worth the visit. The 14-mile scenic drive goes along the bottom of the Badlands and then climbs up out of the canyon to the River Bend Overlook and Oxbow Overlook. Cannonball Concretions has many interesting round rocks and looks so out of place. The 4.3-mile Caprock Coulee Trail is excellent, with lots of varieties along the way. This is our favorite trail in this park. We came across a bison on this trail and had to go off trail around him. We then saw a bison on the road after we finished hiking. Maybe it's even the same bisons that we saw on the trail. We had to back up to avoid the bison. We didn't want to make the bison feel boxed in. We certainly didn't want to end up in an insurance company commercial. Theodore Roosevelt National Park is an underrated park. If you don't mind the cool weather and some wind, and you're not camping, April is a great time to visit. See the description box below for links to the full video and the blog post for more details. Which national parks have constant temperature year-round and is indoors? Caves, of course. There are 3 national parks where the main attraction is a cave, and Carlsbad Caverns is the prettiest of the 3. Why is April the best month to visit Carlsbad Caverns when you can visit it any time of the year? April starts the bat season. At dusk, from April to October, thousands of bats fly out of the cave for their overnight feeding. The Park Service even built an amphitheater for this nightly event. April is also less crowded, with half as many visitors as July. There are numerous surface trails which are great to hike, with daytime highs in the 70s. Aside from being the prettiest, it is also the easiest to tour. There are tours for places like the King's Palace, but you can also tour the big room by yourself at your leisure. From the natural entrance, it's 1.25 miles down to the big room, descending 750 feet. There are lots of places along the way to stop and enjoy the scenery. The Big Room Trail, a 1.25 figure-8 loop, is relatively flat. The room is indeed big, with lots of interesting sights. You can walk back up to the surface, but remember, you have to climb 750 feet. If you don't feel like climbing, elevators are available to take you back up to the surface, but you may have to wait. This is a good reason to go in April when it's not as crowded. The prettiest room is King's Palace, which require a guided tour. Tickets are available at the visitor center, but I strongly recommend that you reserve it ahead of time because there's only one tour per day in April. The King's Palace tour takes you to the King's Palace and the Queen's Chamber. Both are spectacular. There are other tours for people of varying ability. Carlsbad Caverns is a fun place to visit any time of the year, and even more fun with the evening bat flyouts. See the description box below for links to the full video and the blog post for more details. There are many national parks with canyons. The biggest and the most famous is the Grand Canyon. Grand Canyon received nearly 6 million visitors in 2019. April is a good compromise between the weather and the crowds. The daytime temperature averages 61 degrees in April at the South Rim, 53 degrees at the North Rim, and 83 degrees at the bottom of the canyon. It's less crowded in April than in July, but still has 500,000 visitors. Everything at Grand Canyon is, well, grand. South Rim, with the most services and people, has Desert View Drive along the rim from the South Rim Visitor Center to Desert View, with many places to get out and see the canyon from slightly different vantage points. Desert View Watchtower is an interesting historical building designed by Mary Coulter in the style of ancient Puebloan towers. Going in the other direction from the visitor center is Hermit Road, which is accessible by the free shuttle bus in April. The bus is very convenient with many stops to see the canyon from a variety of places along the rim. The best way to see the canyon from above is to hike the Rim Trail, which runs along Hermit Road. It is mostly flat with spectacular scenery along the way. You can easily hike from one bus stop to another and do as much or as little hiking as you would like. Hermits Rest is another of Mary Coulter's buildings, built in 1914 to look like a miner's cabin. Hiking down to the canyon floor is not easy and cannot be done in one day. Bright Angel Trail is one of the most famous trails that goes to Phantom Ranch at the bottom. April is much better time to hike than this trail than in July, when it gets dangerously hot at the canyon floor. The trail is a series of switchbacks with consistently moderate slope. The elevation changes from South Rim to Phantom Ranch is over 4,300 feet and nearly 10 miles. And what did you say before?
I said that wasn't too bad.
Oh my God, I never hear you say that. Mule rides to Phantom Ranch is an overnight trip that requires a lottery to book. North Rim is closed until mid-May. If you want to visit the North Rim, do it in the summer. The crowds are not nearly as bad at the North Rim compared to the South Rim. Grand Canyon is world famous and crowded. April is a great time to visit the South Rim with less people and pleasant temperatures. Check out the full video and the blog for more information. Links are in the description box below. April opens up many more national parks for a visit. Theodore Roosevelt, Carlsbad Caverns, and Grand Canyon are excellent choices for an April visit. We are on our way to visit all the national parks in the United States. Follow along with the journey by hitting the subscribe button below and hit the notification button so you get all of the latest videos. Please hit thumbs up if you like this and share this with everybody that you know.